Mayor Goodman, can you please come to the, we got to get you to church on time this morning, so we want to start our program if we could. Thank you very much. The Mayor of Las Vegas, the Chair of the Business Council, Mayor Carolyn Goodman. Somebody take her out.
Oh, boy, it's a big boy.
Yeah. Okay. You ready to go?
Oh, you're gonna get my stuff?
What is she saying? Some city councilman just arrived.
Okay. Oh. Well, good morning, everybody. I know you got a great buffet back there, and just help yourself right along as I'm talking. I'm not using any monitors here, but I'm Carolyn Goodman, of course, your former host 2 years ago in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we sure look forward to having you back. You are a live and great group for Las Vegas, and what happened there did stay there, I promise you. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the Mayors and Business Leaders Plenary Breakfast. And I'm so excited to have this moment because, first of all, for all of you fathers and almost fathers, happy Father's Day. And of course, it is great to be alive. We are in a new world. We are in a new time. And the challenges are every bit as great as they've always been in any generation. And I must tell you, it's wonderful here in San Francisco. Oscar and I love being here and being back here to visit. We had a great dinner. We weren't with you last night. We were at a long-standing restaurant, Scoma's. I'm not supposed to advertise anywhere, but it was great. And of course, I want to thank Mayor Lee for opening his city to us. And I'm not sure, I don't think our president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Dennis Johnson, is here. You didn't get the president's slip yesterday? KJ, and you know, I don't know whether you Googled it, but I sure did. Dennis Johnson, basketball player. Dennis Johnson with one N, author. So I'm pretty sure what the connection was there. But anyway, I do want to thank a wonderful president. But most of all, I really want to thank the gentleman to your far left here, who's been the glue of this organization since Oscar was mayor, my husband of now 53 years. Thank you very much for applauding that. Because my parents said, don't marry this man, it will never work. And so to prove them wrong, of course, he took me out to Las Vegas where there were less than 100,000 people. But this gentleman to my right and your left has been the glue of this organization and makes everything happen for all of us as we work through every day in every city. And I have to tell you, I know you all appreciate, respect, but really love him and his staff. He has the best staff, and he makes life so much easier for all of us in Las Vegas and around the world. So as we go forward, I know all of you, and just as I have been doing, and Oscar, who was mayor for 12 years and such a buddy of all of yours, I just was fortunately reelected. So by the time I finish this term, thank you, the poor city of Las Vegas will have 20 years of the Goodman dynasty. But we are the boots on the ground and the hands in the dirt, and it's where it all happens. And everything that's higher and further up the ladder doesn't have the privilege of being with the people and seeing all the issues with which we are dealing nationally, and I'm sure in other cities around the world. But it's an exciting place to be. It's a great place to be. And am I up there? Oh, yes, I am. This is the technology world, right? Industrial revolution gone, we're into something new. Did they do the Photoshop? Does that look? Okay. Anyway, it's wonderful, but I must say, I have a script here, and I'm allowed to have a few comments. But I think the things that we're dealing with in every single city are the same. Some of us are doing better in certain areas, and some of us in others. But as we look forward, and today's about business, and there is a formula. Businesses are not going to come to our cities, or the businesses that are there are not going to stay there unless the formula issues are met. And to me, the first and most important one, and we deal with it all the time because of the varied problems that are behind it, is safety. Nobody will come to live, nobody will do business if we are not a safe community. And so that becomes paramount in everything, and obviously nationally and internationally, again, it's just the larger picture. I think the second most important issue to deal with, because most of our companies that come, small or large, have employees, and they need health care. They need not just health care, but they need quality health care. And we have issues in our state that are peculiar perhaps to our state. It's about medical reimbursement to our physicians. And we are not doing as well as some of our neighboring states. Cost of living here in California is much higher than it is in Nevada, but we compare ourselves to Utah and Arizona. But health care is the second most important piece when companies are looking to relocate or to be enticed to come, as we go forward every day with our boots on the ground and our hands in the dirt, trying to bring new companies in. The third and most important, which is something I've been involved with probably for most of my life, is the quality of education in each of our cities. And what are the issues? And so many of us as mayors don't have control over our school districts. So what we're doing in Las Vegas is trying to augment before school and after school programs. We've been very, very successful, but the greatest success has come in keeping children in school because of the Mayor's Faith Initiative, and also because the consortium of nonprofits, the top 15 nonprofits that we've pulled together in the social services, who are also helping us out, as well as the private sector who's investing in the after-school programs. So youngsters especially, and I know it's called the urban versus a suburban. I still am old-fashioned. It's about the inner city and the core of the city. And so we are really concentrating on that educational component, because we can't get businesses, we can't steal businesses or even create new ones and get them to stay unless we're delivering in education. And today, of course, as I mentioned before, is all about technology. The next piece is the arts and the culture and the sports. And I know, as we were talking about our meetings and that we've been enjoying these past few days and will continue to tomorrow, is about arts and culture and sports. And so whether it's STEM or STEAM, and I'm a big supporter of STEAM, because when I look at the great masters in this world and the great composers and the history and our sports, they all pull people. And they all educate in one way or another, and they all provide opportunity for the children and the residents of our various cities. Obviously, moving people around. How do I, the new business person, move my people from my company easily to their residence or to the areas that they want to go for extra beyond workday activities? Transportation is simply critical within what we do, and every one of you, I know, is concentrating on all these areas. Obviously, also because of world conditions, we're all about sustainability. And how do we affect, through education, through higher education, into every portion of our cities, be they wonderful suburbs, and as we invite new and clear businesses. And then, of course, we pride ourselves, much like Florida, and I'm trying to think which other states, we have no income tax. When I was a little girl, my parents, I grew up in New York City. My folks paid city income tax and state income tax and federal income tax. Nevada, for anybody who has a side business, we have no income tax. We have no corporate tax, and we have no estate tax. So much like some of the other states and cities, we really believe we're a mecca. So I'm excited to be here. In fact, I'm so honored, and it's just a thrill for me to be part of this. And again, I want to say extra thanks to our executive director, Tom Cochran. He's just been absolutely phenomenal all these years since Oscar and I first met him in 1999. A great friend to each one of us, a source of connection and collaboration so that we can proceed on. So, at this point, I would like to thank Uber Technologies for sponsoring this wonderful breakfast and introduce Todd Bowers. And he's sort of cute. You know, Oscar always had showgirls. Come here, Todd. On one side. Okay, and I have to go with the older gentleman. Can I have you, Mr. Cochran? I just gotta, I mean, you know, it's part of the shtick. You know. Okay, it's all right. He's been working so hard, but
are we the Chippendale
showman,
guys?
and
Yeah.
I know my husband is here. How do you like these showmen, sweetheart? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we'll get serious here. As director, well, let me redo it. Todd Bowers, Uber Military Director, Uber Technologies, Inc. As director of Uber Military, Todd focuses on developing and strengthening engagements with new and existing stakeholders within the military community. Todd served 12 years in the United States Marine Corps, Semper Reserve. His military honors include the Purple Heart, Navy Commendation Medal with V, Device for Valor, Navy Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal with 2 awards, Presidential Unit Citation and Combat Action Ribbon, 2 awards. And so please put your hands together and give my showman of the day, this gentleman, a warm welcome.
That was awesome. Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, it's okay. First off, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. My dad texted me earlier and said, if you don't say Happy Father's Day, I'm going to get you another Purple Heart. As was mentioned, I am the director of Uber Military, and I had the honor to serve 12 years in the United States Marine Corps Reserves. And it was just about 10 years ago that I was on the streets of Fallujah when a sniper's bullet actually hit the scope on top of my rifle and sent shrapnel into my face. I rolled down the hill and watched the blood soak into the earth. That wasn't the only time I shed blood while I served overseas, and I came to the conclusion that I'm really bad at ducking. But what it did give me was it instilled in me a sense of pride, a sense of service, and a way to continue to serve my fellow veterans, because when you're overseas, you're only worried about those to your left and to your right. And that's all you want to do, is you want to continue to take care of them. And that's why I say now that I don't work as the Uber military director. I serve as the military director, because this opportunity gives me a chance to continue to give back to those that I've served with. When I first joined the Marine Corps, just to give you an update, I was a lot more handsome back then. And I really had no direction. You know, this may sound familiar to a lot of folks, but being a young 18-year-old trying to figure out what your next steps in life are going to be are sometimes very difficult. And this was in a pre-9/11 era as well. All of my friends were going off to college, and I took a different route and decided I was going to enlist in the Marine Corps Reserves. The honest drive behind it was because that uniform really, really looked sharp, and the recruiters between the cafeteria and the high school, they just got the best of me. I was 21 and I was out on my own. I decided I would, as a reservist, go back to school. I was trying to go to school. I was trying to work 2 jobs. I was trying to keep up with my studies. It was difficult. The deployments between Iraq and Afghanistan and South America it was difficult. I'd spend a year there and then a year when I'd come back. And what I was doing was I was flipping burgers during the day, changing oil filters flipping burgers during the evenings, and then oil filters during the day. And it was extremely difficult for me to figure out, how do I keep the lights on? How do I have revenue coming in to take care of myself? Because I did not have the income to be able to just go to school full time. It was a little difficult too because I would deploy and then I would come back. I'd go from leading Marines to getting yelled at by a fry cook named Ron. That's pretty stressful at times. And it didn't help that Ron was in the Navy. But my story is in no way, shape, or form unique, and I think a lot of you know that reservists, military families, National Guardsmen, they're facing these same difficult issues once they come home. BLS data has showed us that over the last year, actually, since 9/11, the cohort is at 7.2% unemployment rate, whereas it's 6.2% for their civilian peers. Now, let me frame that up real quickly. That is something that's really important when you think about it, because these are individuals that we have invested in. We have trained them. We have put them through rigors of life and letting them understand that they can do just about anything, but they can't find a way to get income when they come home. And that's tragic. And the reason I stepped on board to come and join Uber was because they are changing that dialogue. I can honestly say that I would have done anything to have had the Uber opportunity available when I was struggling to try and go to school, work, and dealing with the post-9/11 world as a young Marine reservist. I would have been able to thrive if something like this had been available. And we know that many veterans and military families are facing the exact same thing. And that's why, since I came on board just last month, we launched Uber Military Families. Now, I know some of you might know this. I'm going to go a little bit off talking points here, but a lot of people don't realize that when I enlisted, my family was drafted. They didn't ask to join the Marine Corps. They didn't ask to put up with those late-night phone calls. Sorry. I'll tell you, Marines are amphibious by nature, and it's very dry in here, so all I'm trying to do is add a little moisture, okay? That's it. So, the reason we wanted to focus on families, though, is because while we are often serving, they're often left dealing with the trials and tribulations of managing the household, managing the family, managing moving from post to post, and dealing with a very unstructured lifestyle. Previously, the 9-to-5 jobs are what filled these gaps for these individuals, and it's been extremely stressful and hard for them. The Uber platform allows people to have that flexibility. I've spoken to many military families that are just glowing with pride. Just a couple weeks ago, we had an Uber partner driver, a military spouse, who told us how her life has just come back because she has the ability to take care of her family now while bringing in income. She has the ability to go to special events at her school and to be able to take the kids to Disneyland with this additional income. She's never had this type of flexibility. And we're proud of what we've done overall, because Uber Military is focused on bringing on 50,000 partner drivers. We made this commitment last September, and we're including military families into that as well, because guess what? Though I wear the uniform, they serve just as much as I do, and that's something that we recognize very deeply at Uber. Now, I'm not going to talk too much longer. I came up here, I made you guys laugh, and then I cried. I took care of that part for you. But I do want to just point out one thing, that, while we have a military that is very devoted and has tremendous amount of benefits that are out there, the post-9/11 GI Bill, many of these things, housing allowances, it is still an extremely tough model of lifestyle. It wears on people, it gets exhausting. And having the flexibility and the mobility to be able to bring income into your family, to be able to make those changes and have a better life, is something that is really changing the conversation. It's making people on military posts go, my God, this is something that we've been waiting for. And I'd also like to add that there is something, as someone who has lost a lot of Marines to DUIs and issues along those lines, alcohol-related incidents, is that Uber is giving us another avenue of approach to keep our military safe. There's anecdotal evidence out there that we're seeing that military and veterans, the DUI rates are staying just about the same, and the deaths and accidents are staying the same. We have a commitment to these individuals to make sure that we're giving them every avenue of approach to stay safe when they're going on and off military bases or readjusting to civilian life. And that is something that I find very important, and something that when I talk to servicemen and women, that's their key thing. They want to make sure that they can keep folks safe and continue to serve by giving people those safe rides, by being a part of their community and staying involved. So on that note, I would like to thank you guys very much for your time this morning. I hope that you will come up to me and ask me any questions afterwards. I'm more than happy to answer them. And Madam Mayor, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Oh, my God, you're a soul. I gather you're married. Todd, are you married?
What's that?
Are you married? I got a gorgeous daughter. But you know, I mean, as I look at so many of you, because we've had conversations, we have the same homeless problem, and to know that our veterans are out there to whom we owe so much, and to know that there's an opportunity for them immediately as soon as they get through some of the issues with which they're dealing, to be able to find the employment and have that opportunity, it's fabulous. And Nevada was leading the entire country in foreclosures. And I'm happy to say that so many of those issues have been resolved, but a lot of it depends, again, on employment. So you just, we're so proud of you, and I'm so glad I chose you for Showman of the Day. I know you were in good company. So thank you, Todd. And now I'd like to invite our CEO and Executive Director, my other showman, Tom Cochran, and our two Business Council Steering Committee co-chairs, Walgreen National of Local Government Affairs, Donovan Pepper, and Capspan's Director of Urban Development and Government Affairs, Doug Palmer, to give us a few remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd, for your service to our nation. And it's good to see Stephanie Nellums-Page and Stephanie Rollins-Blake. And this is not the mayor of Baltimore. This is, and people should quit asking her for autographs. She's not the mayor of Baltimore. She is. Okay. But she's from Baltimore. Please don't confuse me anymore. Dynasties, talking about dynasties, that, you know, we got the Bush thing, we got the Clinton thing going, but we also got the Goodman thing going, right? Oscar was elected 3 times. You know, we went out there, and I said, and Oscar said, well, why don't you run for mayor? So you guys can just sit here, and I'll be right up. And she did. So we've had Goodmans elected five different elections. Boom, 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 boom. So we have dynasties at the local level. Yesterday, the nominating committee reported out Mitch Landrieu to be your second vice president, which puts him in line to be president. It's Father's Day. We've had 3 father and sons who have been mayors and presidents of this organization. The Dailies, Mayor Daley Sr., Mayor Daley Jr., Mariels, Ernest and Dutch Mariel and Mark Mariel, and now we have Moon Landrieu and Mitch Landrieu. So I just want to say happy Father's Day to everyone and remind you that we're looking forward to a woman mayor so we can have woman and daughter. So looking forward to that too. Want to recognize Mayor Beverly O'Neill from Long Beach, a great president. Can you please stand? Great president. She was sworn in and Katrina hit, and so we were going to Washington, but we got on a helicopter and went to New Orleans, and it was great leadership from her during that crisis. Also want to recognize in the audience Eileen Herring-Woods, who's the executive director of our Global Parliament of Mayors that we're putting together for you to attend and create something for mayors around the world. So, today's Business Council totals 115, and I am going to recognize our new members of the Business Council and ask them to stand and remain standing. American Airlines, American Forest and Paper Association, Airbnb, Arup, Bluefin, Boston University, Cubic Transportation System, Delta Airlines, Eco ATM, Full Sail Energy Inc., Governing Its Time Network, Kaiser Permanente, Major League Baseball, McDonald's Corporation, Mobility Ventures, National Association of Manufacturers, NRG, Partnership for Open and Fair Skies, Safe Built, Square Root LLC, Standards & Poor's, Sun Edison, Trafficway Group, Inc., U.S. Travel Association, Urban Integrated Solutions, and Zipcar. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Thank you very much. Now we recognize the Platinum Partners, and you know what Platinum is. American Beverage Association, American Management Services, please stand. Colonial Life, Google, Empower Retirement, Lineberger, Gauguin, and Sampson. Major League Baseball, Phillips, the Scott's Miracle Grow Company, U.S. Communities, USA Funds, Walmart, Waste Management, and Wells Fargo. We want to thank all of our business council members, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. Since 2008, we suffered, the great meltdown. And I've often said that it's the mayors and the businesses at the local level that are bringing this nation back. So during the winter meeting, I met with the two co-chairs, Chairman Donovan and Doug Palmer, who is past president of this organization, and it was our thought that we should do a report, a national report, on mayors and business working together. So in April, we asked business council members to send in their best of best practices. And today we are pleased to announce the first ever U.S. Conference of Mayors Business Council Best Practice Report. And it's here, and you have it on your tables, and I'm told by Judy Reed it will be sent to all of you. This report will be mailed to over 1,400 mayors nationwide and business council members. I'd like to call on the co-chair, Doug Palmer, Director of Urban Development and Government Affairs at Capspan, for a few remarks. Doug. I don't know. I can't.
All right, we want, good morning.
Read this stuff,
Good morning. Wait, Mayor, could you come up here in the middle? Come on, Donovan.
Oh, my gosh. Look
We have to take a photo.
This is our version of the Oreo.
Exactly.
Now, you can't find better show guys than this now.
Oh, my
With all
gosh.
due
Am I
respect,
a lucky
Todd
gal?
and Todd.
Lucky, all right.
Sorry, Tom.
You are good.
A little chocolate in the morning. We're going to be quick. As Tom said, we came up with this idea for the Business Council. Business Council members want to see how they can be helpful to mayors. And mayors, your Business Council is here to work for you. This is a great booklet. We're going to even do more. Clint had an idea that we're going to also use next year to group these with the committees that you're on. But mayors, please take a look at the things that these great businesses are doing in your cities and cities across America to create jobs and make a sustainable lifestyle for your citizens. So please take advantage of this. Can I just ask this? The companies that have put in this year, could you just say your name all at once? Now that sounded bad, right? That sounded like a lot of, but it sounds good to these mayors in these cities because it brings beautiful music to their ears to help their cities. So let's continue to do this. And now I'd like to bring up the man.
The outgoing man.
The outgoing man.
The outgoing man.
And I'm the incoming man.
Exactly.
Donovan Pepper, co-chair.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys this morning? Are you guys all awake? I hope so. Well, first of all, let me start off by apologizing too, because one of the things I had hoped to do as the co-chair of the Business Council, I had hoped to actually get Tom and the staff to change the time of this breakfast, since it's so early, to try to do it at a lunch or a later plenary session. I apologize I wasn't successful in doing that. But anyway, thank you so much. And I want to just reiterate two quick things that Doug just said, as well as Tom. This document that you have, this publication, is something that, was Tom's brainchild. We discussed it, we put it in action, and his team developed, but with your help. And it's so refreshing to see the collaborations that the business community has and the mayors have. So we appreciate your assistance in showing and working with us to show you some of the expertise and the specialties that we have in our businesses and how we can help cities. You guys have been a wonderful partner over the years. We look forward to continuing to grow this and develop this document and showcase a lot of the other initiatives that we're doing in your very cities. And we look forward to continuing partnerships. I want to just say, since I'm the outgoing co-chair this year, I want to thank all of the previous co-chairs of the Business Council. I'd love for you to stand. I know we have a lot in the audience. Just to stand real quick and just thank you for your service. And for all of the mayors, we do appreciate the time, the effort, the dialogue that we have with you in developing the relationships, not just here during these winter and the summer meetings and the winter meetings for the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but throughout the year. We appreciate the support that you have, the fact that you call on us for when you need support and you need help. We're willing to be there, and we're always willing to be collaborative. And we hope that this document that you have in front of you, you will certainly utilize this document and see some of the collaborations that have taken place in other cities and try to replicate those in your cities. And we're happy to stand with you. So without further ado, I have the wonderful opportunity to announce our newest co-chair, who will be taking my place on this business council. And I'm happy to announce it's Jean Cantrell, Vice President of Government Affairs for Phillips. Exactly. So again, it's been a pleasure to serve you. I look forward to certainly working with you on behalf of myself, my company, Walgreens, and our 250,000 employees across the United States. And you know where we're at. We're at the corner of happy and healthy. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Hey, Tom.
Yep. We would like to present you, Mr. Pepper, with a plaque of appreciation for your service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, get the mayor. Here, get the mayor.
I'll go on this side.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
My favorite?
Let me get my shit. Oh, yeah. Take your name.
Okay.
So being vanilla.
Yeah. Is it okay if I'm in the picture?
No, sorry, move over.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, okay, good, yeah.
Oh, good.
All right.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Doug and Donovan, and it's really exciting. Of course, I've just told them my favorite flavor's chocolate, so what an honor. Anyway, they've done a great job, and it's a pleasure. This is such an exciting morning because it's a pleasure now to introduce this very distinguished gentleman to my right, our wonderful Mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel took office first in 2011, but he'd been a friend of the Conference of Mayors for many years prior to that, as you all know. Mr. Emanuel, Mayor Emanuel, served as senior advisor to President Clinton for policy and strategy, where he was instrumental in creating the COPS program, which I believe stands for Community-Oriented Policing Services. I wasn't sure, but so I am proud of that one. He served 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives, and Mayor Emanuel served as the White House Chief of Staff to President Barack Obama, helping to coordinate the passage of the health care reform, Wall Street regulation, and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. In the course of his time as mayor, he has brought essential reform to Chicago public education and has ensured that every single teacher and principal has the necessary resources to succeed with innovative accountability measures. Mayor Emanuel expanded prevention programs for at-risk youth, implemented smarter policing strategies, empowered parents and communities to reduce violence in their neighborhoods, helping to invite innovative investment to the city of Chicago, including improved infrastructure and public transportation. So for us, recognizing this great Mayor Emanuel's extensive experience with all 3 levels of government, we've asked him to discuss his pre-K through college model and show us how mayors may improve public education in their cities. So please join me in welcoming this great American, Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
I've been introduced a lot of times. I've never been called a great American, so I want to thank you for that. It's very special on Father's Day to be welcomed like that. It's introductions like that, you wish your parents were here, because you know your mother would be proud and your father would be amazed. Let me, first of all, I want to all the fathers, happy Father's Day. And to all the rest of us, all the rest of you who put up with fathers, happy Father's Day. I was just texting with my baby daughter, who's 15, and she was saying, I said, what are you doing? She goes, I'm cleaning up my room. I said, stop right there, man. I'm on the floor. I can't believe this is happening. So that's my Father's Day. I'm coming home to a clean bedroom in her room. You'll appreciate that. That's a good enough. Let me say a couple things about where I start on education and my view about it, and it fits into an economic model. I actually think the big challenges that we face, not only as cities, as mayors, but around the country, is we have, in the city of Chicago, I would venture in other cities, you have two economies side by side, a skilled economy and an unskilled economy. And the issue of income inequality and the issue that's exacerbating social, economic, and other type of tensions in our city really root themselves in the tension between a skilled economy and all the opportunities that provides, and an unskilled economy and all the kind of shortchanging that goes on. Now, a lot of the educational policies that exist for cities exist on a kindergarten through 12th grade model. And I believe firmly, as I said before, that the future for the city of Chicago is not in a high school graduation, although we'll get to that, but in making sure that everybody has a chance to go to post-high school education. 3/4 of all the jobs in not only the country, but in the city of Chicago that will be growing, require a minimum of 2 years post-high school education. So we embarked 4 years ago on a series of initiatives, all driven by that model, which is a pre-K through college model. And I firmly believe that kids start dropping out of college in 3rd grade. They do not drop out freshman year. There are challenges that happen there, but a child begins to drop out in college in 3rd grade. And it's a responsibility of all of us to obviously reach that child by 3 years old. The truth is, as somebody who studied early childhood education, I was going to do that as a career. You have to reach them actually when they're 3 weeks old, not 3 years, but that's what we can afford. So when I became mayor, half the city's children had a full day of kindergarten, 7 hours. The other half had 3.5 hours. And I would tell you, if you went through the map, the kids that were receiving 7 hours were because their parents advocated for it. The other kids that were receiving 3.5 hours parents did not advocate. I did not think a child's future should be dependent on whether their parents were good lobbyists and advocates for their behalf. So we eliminated overtime in the central office, and every child in the city of Chicago now receives a full day of kindergarten, regardless of where they go to school. The second thing is I put together a panel. We have the Eric Erickson Institute, a number of both at the universities and others and advocates, a group, and we put together our own race to the top for pre-K education, separate from the federal government. We set standards, gave information on what we wanted to see, what were the qualities, and we invited everybody in to compete for the money, including religious institutions. So whether it was charters, whether it was the Catholic Church, I didn't care. If you met the standard, we would fund you, and then if you did not, we would not fund you. We are now embarked on universal, starting this September, we have universal pre-K for all 4-year-olds from families in need in the city of Chicago, a minimum, and it's built around the parent-toddler model. And we're funding Catholic organizations, Episcopalian organizations, we're funding charter organizations, and for the first time ever in the city of Chicago, every pre-K teacher has a 4-year college degree. So it's no longer expensive babysitting, it's actually built on an educational model. In the 1 year, we both expanded the amount of children and raised the standards. Now what used to exist is that 24% of the children that were going to kindergarten were kindergarten ready. 76 were not. Within a single year, it went to 48%, just by the expansion of both quality and quantity of kids that were enrolled in pre-K in the city of Chicago. And I would venture nowhere else on the age spectrum do you get that much movement in a single year. So now we have every child enrolled in pre-K. Some of the funding came, we have a guarantee from the federal government of $600 million over 5 years. And then we also did a social impact bond modeled after certain things we saw in Oklahoma, but we worked with both the Pritzker family, Goldman Sachs, and others to reach our goal of universal pre-K for all 4-year-olds, full-day kindergarten. In addition to that, and some of you may have read this, we went through a bit of a discussion in Chicago, but we had, I'm glad you like that, we had the shortest school day and the shortest school year in America. We were putting teenagers out on the street at 2:30 in the afternoon. 86% of our kids came from poverty. If you were thinking of kids getting out of poverty, would you design the shortest school day and the shortest school year? Nobody from Shanghai or Beijing were coming to study the Chicago model. And I said, and when we got into this debate about it's not about the amount of time, it's about the quality, I said, I agree with that, so why don't we just go to 4 hours a day and see how that works, if it's not about time. You would never design this. So we added 1 hour and 15 minutes to every day and 2 weeks to every year. It's the equivalent of 2.5 more years of classroom time from kindergarten to high school for every child. It's the largest increase in time anywhere in America ever. We also then initiated, in my view, a series of changes in our high schools. We have selective enrollment high schools. We went to 5 STEM high schools that I talked about yesterday, go all the way to 14th grade. We have the largest international baccalaureate program. Every branch of the armed services runs a high school. Every branch. We have the largest junior ROTC program in America, 12,500 kids. For every high school that has a military, Rickover Navy, Air Force, Marine Math and Science, there are 6 applicants for every seat. They have an 80% graduation rate and a 90% college attendance. If I could, I would do 5 more. 45%, 50% of all the high schools in the city of Chicago now are either selective enrollment, Noble Charter, Magnet, STEM, International Baccalaureate, or military. And in the time we enrolled all those new educational initiatives, when I became mayor, I was actually 6'2" and 250 pounds. I'm now 148, dripping wet. We had 44% of our kids dropping out. Last year, it was 70% graduation rate. Our sophomores are on track for an 84% graduation rate. And whether it's Uber or any other business, I'd like to see if you had a 68% swing to the net positive. Went from 44% or 42% dropping out. We're on track. The sophomore class will be 84% graduating, with ever-rising amount going to college. So the second thing we did then is the mayor in the city of Chicago also has a slight influence in the community college system. It's the second largest in the nation. It had a 7% graduation rate. So we had a new chancellor, we re-engineered the system. Malcolm X, all that does now is healthcare. I brought the industry in, I said, give me the curriculum you want to see in hospitals, home healthcare, IT, etc., pharmacy. Olive Harvey, transportation, distribution, logistics. Harold Washington, professional services. Kennedy King, hospitality and culinary. Wright, IT. Richard J. Daley, advanced manufacturing. Truman, human services. Every part of that, every industry runs the curriculum, does the training, and the teachers are on paid for performance. If you train somebody to be a nurse, they get a nursing job, you get a bonus. If you train them to be a nurse and they're driving a truck, you don't get a bonus. We now have tripled the graduation rate. And last year, we embarked on our first new model starting this September. You earn a B average in high school, community college is free. I do not believe, look, every one of us are here because we got 2 things in common. We got the love of our parents, and a good education. No child should be denied the right to an American dream because their parent have to take a second job or a second mortgage. That is wrong. And so my view, you study, you get a B average. Community college is free. The World Bank now calls Chicago's community college system the single best career and skill development in America. Bill Gates just 3 weeks ago put out, we didn't know this, but he put out information on the community college in the city of Chicago is the best career education model he has seen. I firmly believe, now when I graduated college, all I had was the name Sarah Lawrence and the reputation that went with it. I owe the young men and women who are putting their hopes and dreams into the name Harold Washington, into the name Olive Harvey, into the name Malcolm X, the same opportunity that when they walk out, they get a door open, not a door slammed in their face. That's why I told the industry, you have a responsibility to come in here, design the curriculum, tell us what you're looking for, and give these young men and women a chance, and sometimes a lot of the times a third of them are adults, a chance at a job and you're working for you. So now Chicago has a pre-K to college model. And the way we paid for it on the free community college, we spend $40 million a year out of 600 on doing remedial education. Basically, 5th and 6th grade of high school. 5th and 6th year of high school. I said, give me a portion of that money and let me reward success rather than try to underwrite failure. The high schools are supposed to teach you high school. The community college is supposed to give you skills and career development to enter either the healthcare industry, the transportation industry, the culinary industry, the IT or professional services or advanced manufacturing. And since we turned our community college system around, Aerotrom's now building the largest air cargo intermodal facility in America at a gateway airport, 12,000 jobs. Why? Because we have a school dedicated to CDL training and all the logistics that come with it. So the community college has actually helped me recruit companies to the city of Chicago. Whole Foods is building their first ever grocery store in a food desert right across the street from Kennedy King Community College, which is the culinary and hospitality school. So turning our community college system into a focus on the industries and skills that we need for the future has helped us actually lure businesses to the city of Chicago. And I finally believe, and this is, 36% of the people in the city of Chicago have a 4-year college degree or better. We have 15 institutions of higher learning. Every year, city of Chicago, this time of year, has more people land there, 150,000, with a 4-year college degree than any other city in America, according to Accenture. And I think the future of the city of Chicago is built on skills and education level. And I've told everybody, and I really do believe this, that companies will come to the city if they have educational skill certainty. That is the big race for the next 40 years. You want a Booth School Business School graduate or a Kellogg Business School graduate? We got it. You want a graduate out of the University of Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Iowa, Indiana, or Notre Dame? We have that. You want somebody out of Columbia or Northeastern or Roosevelt in the city of Chicago or DePaul University? We have that. And now we also have Harold Washington, Malcolm X, Olive Harvey, and all the other skills. And there is no part of your office or no part of your company we can't answer or address. Since the time we've done that, the peak of the recession, city of Chicago's unemployment has dropped by 50+%. But my firm thing, and I know this is too early, it's a little bit of Sunday, it's just a Jewish kid doing church right now. But my view is the kindergarten to high school model is 20th century. We know this. The 21st century is a minimum of 2 years of post-high school education. It's a minimum. And so we have now embarked on a pre-K to college model. Now I know because of Chicago, it's unique given that we have access to a community college. The other thing we have done is forced all our 4-year institutions in the city, 15 of them, to get into and adopt a singular high school. Don't tell me you got this program and it's spread like peanut butter across the page. There's 96 high schools. So every one of them, Loyola University, works with Senn Neighborhood High School just on International Baccalaureate. That's all they do. Illinois Institute of Technology is with von Steuben Magnet School on science, technology, engineering, and math. You get the basic program. I don't have to run through all of them. And so each school has a university partner focus and then a channel for those kids to go on to higher places of higher learning. That is the focus. I really do believe the sooner we drive, we're not going to get this out of Washington. Forget about it. You know your states are abandoning your state university system. They're just state university systems in name, given the percent of money that comes from the state for the budgets. Making sure our kids realize high school is no longer the destination, graduation day. It is a milestone on the road to further education, is a ticket for the future of all our cities. Thank you very much.
And when I said you're a great American, it's because you're a mayor who does something. And he certainly proved it. How wonderful. Thank you, Mayor Emanuel. We're so grateful that you've come and spoken with us and shared everything. And so now it's a great pleasure to begin our 2015 National Education Pathways with a Purpose Grant Awards program. The exciting new partnership between the United States Conference of Mayors and the USA Funds to offer these grants was formally announced this past January at the U.S. Conference of Mayors 2015 winter meeting in Washington, D.C. The grants recognize and expand creative initiatives that mayors have developed in their cities to advance both college and career readiness and college completion. An independent panel of judges selected 3 winners, 1 large, 1 medium, and 1 small-sized city from among a highly competitive group of applicants. The winners have all developed strong and enduring collaborations between K-12 and higher education systems and employers to address college preparation and long-term career success. The 3 winning mayors have all successfully established education pathways with the purpose of completion and entry into the workplace in their respective cities, and calculated the measurable results of these successes. And now I would like to invite our wonderful Stephanie Nellens-Page, Senior Director of Metro Engagement and Relations for USA Funds, to the podium for the awards presentation. Oscar, come on back up. We have another showgirl.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much, and it's good to see you again, too, Mayor Oscar. I bring you greetings from USA Funds, our president, Bill Hansen, and the rest of the USA Funds staff. We are a nonprofit corporation headquartered in Indianapolis, even though I'm from Baltimore, Mayor, that has worked for the last 55 years to enhance preparation for, access to, and success in post-secondary education. Under Bill Hansen's leadership, we have adopted a special focus on what we call completion with a purpose, building a more purposeful path for students to and through college and on to successful careers and rewarding lives. One of the areas in which we work to promote completion with a purpose is in metropolitan areas. Cities are, as you know, the home of 2/3 of the nation's population and drive more than 3/4 of the nation's economy. Mayors are increasingly involved in the leadership development and support of programs that help their residents get into and through college and link them to quality employment opportunities like Mayor Rahm Emanuel just mentioned. A growing number of city leaders have come to recognize that a better educated population is critical to the health of their local economies. Through this National Education Pathways with a Purpose partnership, with the conference, we want to recognize and expand and disseminate to other communities successful mayor-led models for promoting success in education and employment. Now, it is my honor to present the 3 cities with grants and recognition of their outstanding programs to prepare students for college and careers. As Mayor Goodman said earlier, this past January, we announced the start of our 2015 partnership with the conference, and in April, we received applications from across the country highlighting the successful programs mayors had implemented to ensure what we call completion with a purpose. A panel of 5 independent judges then convened in May to review the finalists and choose 1 city winner from each of 3 categories: large, medium, and small cities. I want to thank all the mayors who applied this year, and hopefully you will reapply for next year. Your commitment to this issue is much appreciated, and it is critical that we continue this important work. The 2016 grant awards programs will be announced at the 84th annual meeting, winter meeting in January, so please mark your calendars for that. And now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to announce that the 2015 U.S. Conference of Mayors USA Funds National Education Pathways with the Purpose Grant Award winner for small cities is Grand Rapids. Thank you. Mayor George Hartwell for his Mayor's 100 program. The Mayor's 100 is an innovative program that develops the city's talent and retains a diverse and educated workforce. It calls on businesses and corporations to hire young people for a minimum of 6 months, offering them meaningful corporate and entrepreneurial work experience in an office environment. Mayor Hartwell began the program in 2010 as the Mayor's 50 and has since expanded the initiative, calling on more businesses to participate, specifically in the emerging fields of environmental sciences, technology, and engineering. Mayor Hartwell has made ensuring all children and youth are ready for college and work and life a top priority of his administration. Please join me in congratulating Mayor Hartwell. Okay. Congratulations. There you go.
No vacation.
Okay. The 2015 National Education Pathways with a Purpose Initiative for a medium-sized city winner is Long Beach, California. And accepting on behalf of Long Beach is the Manager of Government Relations, Deanna Tang. Mayor Garcia is recognized for his Building Pathways Through Innovation Partnership program. Mayor Robert Garcia provides leadership in the development of learning pathways for his city's youth, students, and workers through numerous programs. The Long Beach Promise, the basis for the city's pathways work, is an initiative that offers ways for Long Beach Unified School District students to prepare for enter and complete college. The Promise was launched in 2008 as a partnership between 3 educational institutions under Mayor Garcia's guidance. Long Beach has become the 4th partner in the Promise, signaling a new innovative expansion of the program that will align with the mayor's agenda of making preschool available citywide. Mayor Garcia's leadership promises to strengthen career and education pathways and secure greater investment from civic business stakeholders to ensure in Long Beach it moves along the pathways and are connected to high-value occupations upon graduations. Congratulations. Okay. The 2015 National Education Pathways with a Purpose Initiative Large City winner is Denver Mayor Michael Hancock for his Denver Post-Secondary Success Initiative. Mayor Hancock has not only made quality education a major focus of his mayoral and administration, but of his life and entire career in public service. He has demonstrated his long-standing commitment to education reform through his continued leadership and dedication to programs and initiatives that increase and support educational attainment for all Denver students. The Denver Education Compact aims to increase the number of high school students who complete post-secondary pathway and obtain a job with a living wage. Mayor Hancock is now moving Denver toward a collective impact model for long-term aligned, collaborative, career-focused education. Congratulations, Mayor Hancock. Okay, he said we're going shopping. Great. All right. I would like to congratulate all three mayors on the success of their programs and their awards this morning. There will be a best practice forum beginning at 10:45 a.m. today in Plaza B on the lobby level, where we will hear an in-depth presentation from all three winning mayors on these exceptional programs. I invite you all to join us at that forum to learn more about how these mayors started and grew their programs and about lessons they learned, including any barriers they may have faced and had to overcome. There will also be a great opportunity for questions and answers and back and forth dialogue for all mayors interested in starting their own completion with a purpose programs. Thank you now so much, and congratulations again, Mayor, and I'll turn things back over to Mayor Goodman.
Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie Nellens-Page and USA Funds. What a great initiative, what a great award, and I'm sure everybody's going shopping. Congratulations are due now at this time to the new co-chair Phillips, Vice President of State and Government Relations, Jean Cantrell, previously announced, as you heard, by Donovan, and the newly elected steering committee members. I'd ask you all to stand as I call your name to be recognized. We're so excited about you. Amy Curran, CGI Communications, Inc. Matthew T. Butler, Jacobs Engineering Group.